Hi, Bernard. How are you? Bernard, can you hear me? We're going to talk about you now. Please introduce yourself and your project and your inspiration for your piece of work, and pin something to the top.
Yes, I'm gonna pin it up there right now. Uh, and how you doing today, Amy?
Better now that I'm talking to you.
Cool, cool. I'm glad I can make your day better along with all the rest of the artists in here, and I appreciate you letting me post my artwork in your gallery. It's pretty dope. I was gonna make a video of it. I just ain't had a chance yet, but I'm gonna make a video and post it up pretty soon too. But yeah, basically what I do is I've been experimenting in augmented reality. I'm a multi discipline artist, and I do a lot of different forms of art. But when I got into the NFT space, I was more focused on experimenting with augmented reality and what I can do with different images and different effects by merging a whole lot of different utilizing like different softwares and everything and combining it together and see what I can come up with. And I think I've been doing a pretty decent job. Basically, what I do is I draw characters on paper, and then I take a picture of it, scan it into Photoshop, and I redraw them digitally. Once I'm done with that, I draw. I draw basically all the elements, the AR elements. Whether it's like a mask or something to overlay on top of it, something to superimpose on top of the image, and I import everything into Unity 3D, which is a app making game or app making application where you can make games with different apps and stuff like that. So once I get everything loaded into there, I put everything together and I make an app that you can download into your phone. So once you download the application to your phone and you look at the image, it'll bring it to life to where it starts displaying different animations and things like that. And yeah, I think as of right now, I'm getting the hang of it a little bit more and more. It's not necessarily easy, and there's so much you can do with it. Um, it can get kind of tedious at times when you try to figure out how to do certain things. But I mean, it's for me, I love doing it. It's real soothing when I can put something together and see the end result after putting in a whole lot of art, hard work and stuff like that. Like I said, it's not necessarily easy drawing this stuff and then having to learn how to do a little bit of coding. I'm not no coder, but I do have to do some coding when it comes to putting this stuff together. Um, I try to stay away from it as much as I can, but sometimes there's just no way around it to where I have to, go and do some research and figure out how to do certain things. But all in all, it's still a real big learning curve, and I really appreciate it. And yeah,
Hey, that's amazing. I just wanted to give you a shout out for like having the courage to even dip into that little bit of code because it's a doozy. I know.
yeah, it is. I mean, it's. I mean, my whole thing behind the whole coding process is just paying close attention to the language and trying to figure out what does what for the symbols and things like that. I mean, it can be real tedious and it can be really frustrating. I don't know how many times I wanted to break my own computer trying to figure some of this stuff out because I was sitting in there for like 2 to 3 hours trying to figure out how to fix one little part of code or just the program itself. But as long as you got perseverance, then I think you can accomplish whatever it is that you set out to do. But yeah, that's basically the what I do as far as right now.
May I ask you, what are you using for augmented reality?
I use Unity 3D.
Okay, because this has nothing to do with this current space, but I was in a different Twitter space yesterday, and there's a AR company that I think you don't have to learn like programming to do AR, and I was like, this seems really cool. Like, how meta would it be if you're inside of my VR gallery and you can point your phone and the image starts moving because of augmented reality? Um, not like I wouldn't want to be the artist to do that, but I would definitely encourage other artists if they want to look into that to try it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, whatever is, whatever you got the time for. Like the only reason I didn't want to get into coding like that, which I know eventually I'm gonna have to really dig down and just learn it just to advance more. But I'm real pressed on time. I got a whole lot going on in real life. Being a single father, 2 kids, single full-time dad of 2 kids, and juggling a whole lot at one time. So it's more of finding the time to be able to learn all these different things and just learn how to utilize the software itself is a challenge, you know what I mean? And that's why when I do come to the parts where I have no choice but to learn how to code, well, I just look at it as well as something that I'm going to have to learn how to do anyway. And I think you have more creative control over the, things that you want to bring in a manifestation with the more you learn. So I don't have a big problem with it, but it's just, dealing with the tediousness and being pressed for time is why I try to avoid code as much as I can, because I don't really have time to hit that learning curve in that particular sense, because it's so tedious to do coding. But as far as learning the software, I'm a little bit more familiar with hotkeys, because all of them have real familiarity. They all pretty familiar across the board when it comes to creative software as far as hotkeys and how to do certain things. So it's not too hard to figure that out. But when it comes to coding, it's learn a whole nother language. I have to pay close attention and look at how everything is structured. So I mean, other than that, if I had more time, then I wouldn't have a problem with learning code a little bit more, because I do think that it is real useful as far as having creative control over your project.
Yes, absolutely. Like, I will never ever discourage anyone from learning how to code. I am a programmer. That's partially why I'm not in spatial, because I'm just like, if it takes me 20 minutes to place a placard in spatial, I may as well just own the whole thing. But I think, okay, so for your piece of art, I really liked the anime style, like the mob boss. But one of the more impressive things is when you go and you look at the piece in where you're selling it, it's in OpenSea, but the description, like, this person has fully fleshed out backstory. And I didn't actually download the AR, but I've been in some spaces with you where you describe what you're doing, and this is really going to be worth it for whoever winds up buying it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, like that Los Angeles piece, I was more in that's when I just found out about augmented reality, so I was more in a rush with that particular art style, and I had to teach myself how to draw a little bit more, because at that particular point in time, I wasn't really taking the drawing part of art seriously, because I had some other things going on. So it was a pretty decent art style that I used for that one. I wasn't really steady with my hands. It was more of a sketch, and I just redigitized it and made it pretty decent. But as far as the application goes and the backstory, I put most of my work into that in particular. The backstory, it was okay. I think the backstory that I got for my current character live, my PFP, that backstory is pretty nice, and I'm still almost finished with that one. If anybody has time to check it out, if you like listening to if you like series that come on Netflix and stuff like that, it's more like listening to one of those with your ears and visualizing it. So if you get time to check that out. But as far as the boss Ankyo goes, that's in the gallery, the application is free for anybody to download. If you go to the link in the description on OpenSea, it'll give you the option to download it for Apple or iPhone. And then you can look at it inside the gallery, and it will work inside the gallery too. If you wanted to see what it looks like, or if you just want to see it in OpenSea, you can do that as well. The only thing about looking at it in the gallery is you got to have it angled in a certain way, so it's not super choppy, but it still works though.
That is super cool to know.